Plan B, Chapter 9.
It's a great drug for curing pregnancy.
Oh, yeah, it'll cure what ails you.
Plan B. It's
Yeah.
about $50.
So, this is an escort mission. And if you're on an easier difficulty... I don't know. On the hardest difficulty, don't leave this building. Do not walk out the front of this building. I'm almost 100% sure that walking out the front of this building will trigger him to run forward. Mm-hmm. And just, he just dies fucking instantly.
And you have to keep him alive.
And he dies really goddamn fast. And you have almost no health
Faster
packs.
than you?
Yeah. Faster than my bullets. It's just fucking ridiculously fast. So you gotta
your gun.
He should not outrun my gun. So there's a whole bunch of those little bugger motherfuckers flying around. Get as many headshots as you can. Kill as many of these guys as you can before you walk out the front. I can't remember. So I finished recording the game by this point, so I don't remember all of the fine details of every section. But it's not as hard towards the end as I was expecting.
So what was the hardest? Have you finished recording?
I have finished recording.
What's the
finished
hardest,
editing. We're on chapter 9 of 20 that we have to voice over.
So what was the hardest part of the whole thing?
The hardest part...
Have you hit it yet?
I finished recording.
No, at this point in the game, have you done the hardest part?
I think it's chapter 18.
Okay, so you have not hit it.
There is a pretty long standoff. But there's no part that's like, I had to redo 10 times.
There's no part where it's a first-person shooter, and then it puts you in a tank for a level, and the tank level is so fucking hard, and you're not even prepared to be in a tank.
It does not pull a Call of Duty.
Is that Call of Duty that I'm describing?
That was Black Ops. Yeah, that was Call of Duty Black Ops, the most recent one to come out.
Did Killzone do the same thing?
It did, actually.
Killzone 3?
Yeah, there was a flying section towards the very end of the game where you were not on foot anymore. You were sitting shotgun in some sort of X-Wing or TIE fighter. And you had to, shoots out a whole bunch of fucking dudes flying around, and yeah.
Well, I'm glad
so fortunately this game didn't pull that off. But it's not as insanely hard as I was expecting. So what happens is, the reason I think it's not as crazy hard as I was expecting is because if you get a checkpoint with 1 bar of health, when you die and respawn, it takes you back to a third.
So it's not like Halo.
And all of the health packs that are at stationary points throughout the level respawn.
Okay, so it's easier than Halo.
It is easier than Halo. It's almost... This game almost isn't as hard as Call of Duty. Despite no regenerating health.
Because the health packs regenerate.
After you die.
And checkpoints.
And checkpoints give you a third health. They do give you extra health.
So there's a little bit of regenerating health.
Right, so if you fuck up and you're like, how the hell am I going to get through this? And then you get it on the next trial, you're like, oh, that's why. Yeah. Because they give you a little bonus, and they give you extra health packs and shit. I'm kind of curious, I kind of want to do a poll on the site. What's the hardest FPS?
What site is that you're talking about?
Wiki Game Tacos. Wiki Game Polls. Wiki Game Broncos.
Bronco guys.
Broncos.com.
Bronco offense guides.
Let's go, Tim Tebow. Oh, God. What is the hardest
first-person shooter
you've played? So, actually, I don't feel like setting up polls. So
at this point in the year,
just in the comments, either on YouTube or on the site, vote for the hardest first-person shooter, in your opinion, in the last... 2 or 3 years.
I thought Halo 2 on Legendary was pretty fucking hard.
I'd almost say that's out of the scope of the time frame that I'm talking about.
Okay.
I would say
I haven't played enough first-person shooters in the scope you're talking about.
Call of Duty 4 on veteran.
What about Black Ops? Those are not
Nope.
World at War with all those grenades. Like those grenade sections.
I'd say 4 might be harder. Mainly because of the Mile High Club. And I shouldn't be using a shotgun here versus those flying assholes. It does not work very well.
Yeah, you already mentioned that earlier.
I did. That's why I'm switching guns. Yeah, Call of Duty, Black Ops. I almost want to say Killzone 2 because the last boss was a fucking prick. But the rest of the game wasn't that hard. That I remember.
You did.
Yeah, World at War. Well, I gave up on the last boss. World at War. So that asshole that flies down is at the same spot every time. That's why I busted out the shotgun and knew he was right there. Yeah, I'd say World at War.
Or 4.
4. I think 4 was harder than World at War. It's been so long since I played them. It's hard to remember specifically. But my money's on 4. Halo 3, specifically the Cortana level.
Yes. That was hard. ODST was easy.
ODST was a cakewalk. I'm trying to think what else. Call of Duty and Halo and Killzone, top of the list. Resistance, not so much.
Yeah.